Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, I know, but as life is, it can get busy at times, so it is what it is, I guess. But anywho's, uh, yeah, as you can see with Monica, the Bluesmobile here, she has received quite an update since the last big video on the channel. I've been producing a couple shorts with her after all the hell she's been through. But I figured I'd finally try to build a compilation of everything I've done in the car since March of this year, March of 2024. It's currently September, or approaching September. Welcome to Labor Day weekend. And season is coming down to a close for all things classic cars for the summer. So the only other changes I'll have left on this, in terms of bright work parts down the road, I'm trying to get my hands on new trim that are just pay the money and get these replated, which honestly I may end up doing. So I accidentally nicked these trims with sanders and whatnot, so it's like, I know I'm doing this car, I wanted to get it nice, but I still had a time crunch, so I wasn't able to do everything properly, which is fine and dandy. However, it does cause a little bit more room for error, and error has struck in this area, unfortunately. But yeah, all the rot is gone. I had to go through all the quarter panels, the trunk floor, my wheel wells, the dog legs, even the bottoms of the door skins to make this car nice again. And it ain't perfect. It is, the bodywork is kind of sort of far from perfect, but at least represents the Monaco body lines and the body panels as close as I can get. So for any of those who are like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, it's like, it's a Bluesmobile. It's my first time tackling this big of a project on my own, and I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, there's runs in the paint. Yeah, the bottoms of the doors aren't that perfect. Same with the quarters. But it's clean. It's now rust-free, or as close to it as I can get. And it's come a long way from her former self in just 2 years of me being around the car and owning the car. So yeah, so I'll probably get this stuff replated if I can't find replacements. So then I'm not wasting pieces to go on another car. And then I saved my rear bumper. I kind of restored it. I sandblasted all I could. I filled it, filled the rot, and then I painted it. It's good enough for now, but that's alright. So over in Brillion, it's a wonderful chrome plating called Custom Plating Specialists over in Brillion, Wisconsin, near the Green Bay and Appleton area. Wonderful, wonderful business. So shout out to them working on my rear bumper, because I'll have that by this December, and I'll swap out the skins. I already have the correct size bumper bolts, so don't worry. And then I also have the new arch trim going above the taillights. I'll have some this winter as well. So when the time comes, I'll take the bumper off, take the trim off, swap them, and then done. The car is done on the outside. And then all that's left is to do the interior. I'm going to take out the carpets and put in vinyl floors while the seats are getting reupholstered from a guy. It's going to cost $300, so that's a pretty good price for nowadays. We all know how bad inflation's got and all that. That's alright, we'll work with it. So anywho's, yeah, this is pretty much the car in its ultimate form. Is what you see here. I kind of wanted to break from the norm. I may go back through and paint all the weathering, dust it in like a matte clear. So I'll probably have to shoot clear in the areas when I get the new trim back here. So this is the Royal trim, and I think the 74 trim is about yay wide. It goes to pretty much here. So that's easy fix for me. It's just scuff it, shoot clear, and then it's done. Also, I'll scuff and shoot clear after I get the bright work on. So I kind of like what clear coat does to chrome. It gives it a little bit of a dull sheen to it. It's still bright. It still looks shiny and bright, but it gives it a kind of an aged appearance because clear coat fogs. It will just fog chrome. Ask anyone. So I may do that, even though I'm getting fresh bumper. It'll match my front a little bit better since I did clear coat that when I got the push bar remounted for a Monaco bumper instead of a Fury. Because keep in mind, that's what I was running up front for a long time was Fury front clip. So yeah. So if not this video, the next video that comes out, that'll be my compilation video. I just wanted to quick have an overview of what I've been doing to the car and what's the future of the car. Well, for those who are wondering what engine does it have under the hood, it currently has the 360. It was standard all the years for the Monaco and Fury. So I already have a 75 440 that I'll be building up, a nice mild tune. I don't need to break my wallet just yet because I have other priorities in life and upgrading to a nicer, better house in the area, so that'll be nice. And so 300 horsepower 440, that'll work. I'll probably make it C500 down the road if I get a little bored of the 300, but that's fine. I don't need this to be outrageous, but I want this to be bulletproof and handle abuse. I was not gonna lie, I do like being a stunt driver with this, allegedly. I like getting the tires loose. I like seeing the car have body language as it's rolling down the road in tough, intense situations. But yeah. And also I'll be upgrading part of the suspension. I'll be upgrading to drag race, like 1.12 inch torsion bars with new ride height adjusters, so I can get this girl nice and low on all fours. As for those that watched the movie, the car kind of sat low because, well, it was a tired police car. It's seen a lot of action in its 5 years of existence. And of course, when Elwood got his hands on it, and just went through even more abuse. So I kind of want to hunker down on all fours. I did get new shocks installed in the back. They're KYBs, but I may upgrade to a shock that has a coil spring in it. Kind of like a strut, but not really. So just a sprung shock, essentially. That's what I may do for this. I'll just coordinate, find out which shocks work the best for these cars, because I have no problem upgrading and or replacing the leaf springs because they're tired. They're good, but they're just tired. They've been on the car since they came out November of 76. So I can run this, and I would like to keep running my setup. I'll probably just change the shocks when I go through the suspension and the brakes. And for those wondering, like, oh, you're going to, make sure you have a nice beefy transmission, and there's differences between small block and big block transmissions. Don't worry, I have a matching 727. They came with the 440. I also have a 9 1/4 rear end instead of the weak little frimpy 8 1/4 that all small block and 400 cars came with, unless they were optioned as a police package. Then you could have a 9 1/4 rear end in these cars, but that's all right. So with these 9 1/4 rear ends, you know, a lot of the rear end gearing is like a 2.7-to-1, which is perfect for cruising and whatnot. But since I have 300 horsepower, I want the car to feel a little bit more nimble and zippy and be able to do a nice big old posi burnout. Now, one-legger. I'm going to upgrade to a 323 Sure Grip gear pack for the rear end. So that'll be a nice little get up and go. I have the dual exhaust system off of my Fury parts car. That was the only thing I salvaged apart from the manifolds and a couple small trim pieces, was just that, because I wanted a dual exhaust to match the Hero cars and the 440 police cars and all that stuff. And the one that came off the Fury was kind of a nicely done homemade H-pipe system, so it'll match the disgusting appearance of a Bluesmobile. It'll look ratty-tatty and very mean and disgusting, and I'm all for it. So that'll be a nice big change. And I'm looking forward to the future of this. I'm not sure how soon stuff will happen. I'll try to make stuff happen for this car sooner or later, just so it's done. Because next year, I'll be working on that car. That will be the project of 2025 alongside of my house. The reason why I have the Fusion up here and there's sandblast shit everywhere is I'm working on the common rust issues on these first-gen Fusions. Rocker rust and a little bit of trunk rust. I already took care of the trunk rust yesterday. I sandblasted all that. It's nice and clean again. Now I just gotta go through the rockers. I have replacement inner and outer panels for both sides. I'm expecting to only change the outers, but I'm not holding my breath yet until I cut the old off and replace it with new. I don't really want to change the inners. It's gonna be a lot of work. But I'll still make it happen because the car's really nice. It's super reliable. It's allowed me to keep my life happy and obtain cars like this and keep my first car over there. So this car's done me solid. It has 220,000 miles. Some of you may think, oh, just run it the way it is. It's like, no, I'm trying to save money. I'm doing the right thing, making it nice, making it last another 10, 15 years. And then hopefully it'll just naturally quit or just die in a collision. So anything can happen. I don't know. Don't wish a collision, but that's the only way I'd be okay sending this thing off. Is just it just dies in a collision with another vehicle or a deer. So that's nice. I'm happy. I'm finally getting the chance to work on it, so I've been busy with that. And then I'm hoping to start on the F-350 next year, because now we're finally driving it again. It's been 4 or 5 years. 5 years exactly since we last driven it. It's that truck. It's so nice. Excursion's nice. Just has an oil leak coming from the dipstick tube bun in the pan. That's its only bad leak, and it has tired injectors because, well, the previous owner was kind of a little hard, but that's all right. And of course, the previous owner also spray painted all the pretty beige trim black, so yeah, it'll get all the cladding off our parts truck. I'll get the captains for the F-350 and whatnot, but try not to stray off topic too much. All of the vehicles I have, especially these 3 sedans, are in close proximity to me. That will become mine one of these days, but for now it's being shared amongst the family. That's fine. We're all taking care of it, and same with the Excursion. So both diesels are with a good home. So yeah, the Monaco. Going back to the Monaco, it went through quite the transformation after going through and replacing all the bad with the good. Now it's a really nice machine. I've had these fenders for a while, these 74s. It came off of a two-door olive green 74 Monaco custom two-door hardtop. So it didn't even have the side markers. So thank you to Chicago Bluesmobile to sending me specs and measurements to get these mounted. And because it didn't have side markers, it only had the little turn signals down here. Yeah, they look okay, but they're not fleet. And that's why I'm going for it. I'm going for a fleet vehicle. And then this header panel, this came off of a 75 Monaco Custom or Royal. I'm going with Custom because it still had, or at least Monaco Brougham, because it still had this header panel. 75 was the first year of the Hideaway Royal fascia, and it stuck all the way until the C-Body's final year in 77. Sale year. Black's production year was probably 76. There's probably a couple early 77 cars out there that were still getting punched out of Detroit and Canada. But yeah, it's a lot nicer, and it's definitely quite a looker, huh? The top of the header panel, as you can see, was smashed, and it did have a hood ornament. That's why it was a Brougham or Custom or Royal. You can still kind of see it up close where it used to be. That's all right. Again, it's a flippin' Bluesmobile. It ain't perfect. Would I like it to be perfect? Maybe, but I'm not bugged enough to do that. Besides, I like the dents that are along the header panel here. You can kind of see them. There's one there, one closer to the middle, and of course the smashed part, so it makes it look like it's blown through some barricades, smashed through some guardrails, just like in the movie. Updated my plates to the prop plates by Celebrity Machines, aka Travis Bell. Shout out to him. Wonderful business he runs. Then, as you can see, I had to redo the push bar just a little. It's close to CHP specs, but though it isn't a die-hard CHP spec blueprint. There's some creative liberties I had to take in order for mine to work without me having to get more metal. So yes, booger welds, but they're still tough as nails. I can stand on them, and I'm a 200-pound guy. They can handle my weight. They can handle probably a car smashing or pushing a car at a car show. Doesn't matter. What was nice about this bumper is not only had the optional chrome bumperettes, not the full bumperettes where they have the rubber pads, but just the chrome sections, the stanchions. That was nice. And then it was missing the driver's side parking lamp lens. Well, that's perfect, because guess what doesn't have that lens? The Hero cars. That was the one thing they tried to make consistent on all of these cars. It's the same with the dent on the fender and the bent antenna, was that driver's side parking lamp lens. So it works. I haven't had any issues with my bulb just yet. I made sure I put dielectric grease, just some sort of protective coating for the connections, make sure they don't get all nasty and funky. And then I did that. So it turned out great. Yeah, the car now has a nice natural milky sheen to it because it's covered in media dust from yesterday. The wind it was pushing northeast, so when it finally blew through, it started covering the Monaco, and it was covering the pickup as well. I had to give that a bath yesterday, trying to make sure that stays as nice as possible. There's some minor rust on that, but I'll cover that another time when I'm more in depth on that one. So yeah, and what was really another icing on the cake is my fenders still had the Monaco script. And that's really handy for aligning the side markers and coordinates to the rest of the body. It's a really helpful little tool. Once you get it kind of lined up with that and you make sure your spacing's about right with measurements provided, just drill it, Dremel out the holes for the actual bulb itself, and there you go. You have 74 markers on any kind of fender. It's just little details like that that helps the car really take shape. And yes, I know the body gaps aren't that great against a Bluesmobile. I don't know how many times I can say that. It looks great. When the car is ultimately done, I'm going to do a filming location video, a lot better one than the first video I made regarding filming locations on this channel. And I may recreate some stunts. So it'll be exciting to make, and I look forward to sharing with all of you. So that'll be very, very fun for not only myself, but for hopefully a lot of you watching the channel. So for now, I'll just leave it at that. I'll probably make another video in the coming weeks, probably a week or so, about getting this car from where it was to what it is now. I'll get the whole compilation video done with this girl, and yeah, that'll be nice, because then that'll be off the plate for the channel. And then it's just focusing on finishing small projects like the Fusion, finishing big projects like the Contour and the F3. The only last big project on this is just the 440 swap, and just the small cardboard list of items, interior, suspension, brakes, all that stuff. I already went through the fuel system, has a new tank, new everything. So I'll cover more of that stuff in detail in the compilation video, going from start to finish for the restoration process, and then that'll be that. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in all my content and future content like model railroading, train watching, boat watching, going out for adventures and drives with vehicles and whatnot, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment with what you would like to see in the future. So, as stated before, can't go home, but you can't stay here. So until next time, goodbye, and have a happy Labor Day weekend.